Well, hello, everybody. We're coming to you once again here with TTM Cast, your sports collectibles podcast. It's a place where we talk about all things related to TTM, cards, autographs, all kinds of sports collectibles stuff. This is season number 7, episode number 16, coming to you here for our July episode on July 5th, here with this nationally ranked sports collectibles podcast. I am Drew Pelto, coming to you here from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We are joined, as always, in the co-host seat by Arron Littleton. Arron, how are things going out there?
It's hot. It's not as hot as it normally is. We're down, I don't know, probably about 15 degrees from normal Wichita Falls weather, but yeah, it's definitely pretty warm. So summer is here, one of the best times of the year, hotness or not. So yeah, it's great to be on the show.
Yeah, the last few days down here, it's been cooler, which is nice, but rainy, so very, very humid out there today, which is significantly less fun.
Yeah, and so right now, I guess it's mid-80s for us, which is, like I said, probably about 15 degrees cooler than normal. But I will never forget about the guy that I talked to when we were in Portland, Maine in 2022. And he was like, man, it's so hot here. It was like 85 degrees. Yes. And I was like, well, I just left Texas and it was 115 when I left. So, do with that information what you will.
Well, sports news. We talked last month how we were coming up on the finals. Those have disappeared. We are at the end of the basketball and hockey seasons. Florida Panthers back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Oklahoma City Thunder win their first NBA championship since moving from Seattle. Neither one of those really moves the needle for me. It's just like, okay, whatever kind of thing mostly there, personally. And yeah, look at the... Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, yeah, it's a little bit interesting. There's been a lot of non-traditional markets winning NHL championships recently, especially in lieu of, no Canadian markets winning. So that's been a little bit interesting. And but I guess it was good to see Oklahoma City win, even though I was kind of low-key cheering for the Indiana Pacers because Rick Carlisle was the former coach of the Mavericks. I've always liked him, but for the most part, it was a pretty good series.
I couldn't cheer for either there. I mean, I try not to cheer for teams that move from one city to another, so it's like, yeah, I can't cheer for Oklahoma City after they moved from Seattle, and Indiana beat the Cavs, so I'm like, I'd rather they not win it because screw you guys. That should have been our championship, basically, if they end up winning it. So, yeah, I'm like, whatever for the most part there. So, draft season, of course, as my article on Sports Collectors Daily this week mentions. Cooper Flagg, first overall to the Dallas Mavericks. A little bit of a shocker they got the first pick, but Cooper Flagg headed their way. And Matthew Schaefer, first overall to the New York Islanders in the NHL draft. And I know almost nothing about Schaefer. I also know very little about Cooper Flagg, other than what I've been able to see of him during the tournament this year. So, yeah, be kind of a surprise, I guess, to see what these guys bring to the table here in their respective leagues. And looking at some baseball stuff, well, I mentioned last week that, or last month, Cleveland, my Guardians, your Rangers, not exactly doing well, and both have continued to swoon in June, and preparations to apparently die in July for both as well, both sitting in, I think, like 3rd and 4th place in their divisions, which is not particularly great. And, I've watched the last couple of the Guardians games, and it's like, my God, what happened to this team? So I don't know what's going on there. The Rangers haven't been doing much better from what I've seen there either. So, yeah.
No, they are pretty pathetic to watch. I watched the game yesterday, and so I spent a good part of my 4th of July watching the Rangers.
Why would you do that to yourself?
You know what? I don't know. I guess I'm, I enjoy the pain, but yeah, I spent an off day watching the Rangers. They are characteristically terrible at hitting, and especially with runners in scoring position. If you would have told me that in 2003, I wouldn't have believed you, because the pitching has been for the most part great for the Rangers, but it's the hitting that's not getting it done this year.
As of now, there's a sports masochism podcast. Forget the autographs. We're just going to talk about terrible teams that we cheer for and we don't know why. But yeah, so. Anyways, taking a look and seeing what we had this past month in our various collections. I had a few set editions I picked up in some trades and some purchases, including some that just got here today. Let me see if I can pull these up easily here. Actually, let's see here. So one of them was a set need, and two of them were just a little bit of kind of helping out another collector. But I picked up my Andre Scrub right here for the 21 Heritage set, so another one to add on in there. And a couple of things. I was helping out somebody with their 89 Pro Set, I think it was, 89 Pro Set football set. And the guy had a bunch of stuff and nothing I really needed for any sets. So I'm like, you know what, let me just go through and see what I like off of here, somebody that I don't have or something like that. And so found a couple that I liked off of there, including, first up is a Herb Score from, I believe it was one of those, CMC 1989 set here, made by Swell Chewing Gum or Bubble Gum. Pick up the Herb Score off of there. And also added in a Ken Caminiti from 1991 Topps. I didn't have an autograph of his, so I'm like, you know what, let's throw that one in. So added those in, made a trade recently with Ian McCann up in New York. Aaron, you may remember him. He's the guy that we met up with in Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and we're hanging out with him both before and after the game. But made a trade with him. He was able to get me the couple cards for the 21 Heritage Miners set of Beatty and Alvarez, so a couple of Mets prospects there that he was able to get for me. Got a couple cards from Kevin Lee, who is a member of the Ballpark Graphers group. He came to a game down here in Frisco and said, hey, got some stuff here for you. So big thanks to him for some Orioles autographs and some Orioles minor leaguers cards there as well. And Graph Frisco twice in the last week. I know you'll be getting to half of that later on, so let's take that portion. But just the other day when I met up with Kevin, it was because the Arkansas Travelers were in town, Seattle's AA squad. And Aaron, you didn't miss really a whole lot there at all. I did at least get Michael Arroyo signed 2 out of 3 cards after the game. He didn't do it at the cage, didn't do it pre-game, but did it post-game. He also got injured during the game. So, fortunately, though, at least I think it was like a hamstring they said was tightening up a bit. So didn't affect his signing abilities. But Lazaro Montez wanted nothing to do with us at all. Michael Morales didn't sign for me post-game. I didn't really have a chance to get to him too easily, though, post-game. I heard he didn't sign any the other day, so that kind of sucks. But I did get Charlie Balinson on a card as well, and Dylan Files. So got a few guys there at least. But, overall, not a great outing there with Arkansas. But I know, Aaron, you'll have more to talk about with the other game there, so I'll let you go ahead and take it away with what you found in the last month here.
Yeah, it's been an interesting month rolling over from our previous format where we were doing this weekly. So there's a lot more to talk about. Number one is Michael Young continues to be in a tremendous amount of the releases for this year, which is crazy because before this he hadn't had a card in a decade. And so now it's almost like every time I log into eBay, there are new cards like that I've never seen before. And so that's really kind of a weird phenomenon for me, because I collect a guy who's been retired for a long time. And so I've been picking up a few of those. I've been doing some Panini Flawless, even though it's not a licensed product, and that makes a lot of people shy away from it. I mean, the patches that they have in there, I actually picked up a Flawless, I forget what the actual card name is, but it's numbered to 10, and it's got a piece of the World Series patch from 2011 that we lost in it. And patch is pretty awesome nonetheless. So I've been snagging a few cards here and there for my Michael collection. Then, as you mentioned, last weekend we graphed in Frisco and saw the Tulsa Drillers. A lot of 1-pers on that team, but for the most part, we got what we needed, I think. And they were also celebrating Throwback Night, and so we got a cool T-shirt that will never fit me. So Throwback Night, and then they also had some Throwback Rangers that were part of the World Series teams. They had Elvis Andrus. I'll let you touch on that if you want to. Then they had Matt Harrison and Craig Gentry, and we were able to get quite a few autographs out of them. And so that is my final graphing outing until 2 weeks from today, actually, when I will be in Montgomery, Alabama, seeing the Biscuits for the first game of the Eternal Graphing Tour in 2025. So if you want to follow that, I'll give you the information and do that here in just a minute. But ETG 2025 about to take flight. I'm trying to trying to update my trying to update my Instagram before that happens, because I am still in 2023, so I gotta make some posts really quick and get ready to go here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I saw you had your first post in like 7 months on there, so that was good there. So that was the end of the last trip that Aaron and I took together. It was the 2022 trip, right? That you just had those go up there the last few days, those in 2023 there. But yeah, so definitely give him a follow there. We'll get to that all here in just a moment. There's one thing I forgot about in mine as well. I got a bunch of cards from my boss this last weekend. Because he said, so back in the 80s, 90s, he bought a bunch of cards that he thought was going to pay for his son's college and his daughter's college and all that. And I think we all probably did that at some point. And yeah, there's a reason why it took me 12 years or 15 years where it was to pay off all my college debt. And that's because my cards didn't pay for jack crap on that. So he was the same way. So he and his son finally said, all right, enough. We're going to go through, find the good ones, sell them, and then they asked me, what would you recommend doing with the like the commons and all that stuff? And I said, you could put together, like player lots, team lots, something like that, and sell those off. And I think after a bit, they're like, nah, this is going to be too much. Hey, Drew, do you want these? And I'm like, sure, why not? I can mail these off. And I'm thinking maybe 10,000 cards or so. Well, it's about 20,000 cards or so here, mostly football and baseball commons, kind of like what we picked up at the show out in Allen there, 2 years ago now, which, by the way, I finally got done sorting, breaking down, and putting up into all my main boxes there just in time to get 20,000 more now that I do that same damn thing too. So this is going to be an interesting couple weeks there. But I get to go through all those. There's going to be a lot of good TTM stuff in there that I've seen just from a quick cursory scan. And one autograph that I thought was kind of cool that was in there. It is the 1993, I think this is, 93 Fleer Pro Cards card of the Clown Prince of Baseball, Max Patkin. This guy's kind of a legendary entertainer among minor league baseball. He was kind of a comedian type guy. He'd go and stand behind the third base coach, imitate him and stuff, and do this during games and stuff. And he had a 50-year career doing this from 1940s up until the 1990s or so. But they made a card of him, that 93 Pro Card set, and an autographed copy of it was in there. So I'm like, all right, that's actually pretty cool there. I'm pretty stoked to add that in. So, little addition right there that I forgot to put in there. But as we said, we've got a whole show ahead of us here, including we're going to have Les Wolff joining us here this month. Aaron mentioned the Eternal Graphing Tour. He's going to be going on that next month. We'll have him on as a guest next month, talking about stuff from the road out there. And this month, we've got Les Wolff talking about the National coming up at the end of this month. National Sports Collectors Convention is going on in Chicago. We talked to him all about everything upcoming with that. Well, in addition to Les, we have all of our regular segments with Baker's Dozen, talking about signings and news around the hobby happenings with shows that are upcoming here all across the country. More from Les, talking about the National before we go to Making the Grade, covering all things from the world of grading. We had TTM Cast stamp approval. Aaron and I give our thumbs up from anything from the previous week. You never know what it's going to be from us. You got the Vern Rapp Minute, covering deaths in the world of sports, celebrity, music, movies, and politics. And the main reason why we all are here is how we finish off the show, our TTM returns. Aaron, if people want to contact us, how can they do so?
That email address is ttmcast@yahoo.com.
There you go. So shoot us any questions, any comments, anything like that. If you want to get a hold of me directly, I am at dfwgrapher@gmail.com. My website is dfwgrapher.com, and you can follow me on most social media at dfwgrapher as well. Aaron, you mentioned before, you got the Instagram for the Eternal Graphing Tour. How can the people follow you and find out all your fun stuff there with that and really anything collectibles related?
Yeah, absolutely. Instagram is the hub for that. If you want to check out all my Michael Young collection and other random stuff, you can do that at Arron Sports Card Explosion. That is Arron, Arron. And so that's where all the cards and stuff are. If you want to follow my journey, and so I'm trying to, as I said, get all of this updated, and so there's going to be a flurry of posts. There's going to be 2 years worth of posts here in the next 2 weeks. So that I can get, yes, I'm very behind. So that I can, so that it's one would say it's a habit. It's almost a character trait. But yeah, so you can check out that, see all the things, and I'm going to be posting as close to live as possible while on the road. is my goal. So yeah, you can check that out at the Eternal Graphing Tour on Instagram, and that has an underscore in between each of those words.
There you go. So if you haven't given us a follow on all of those, go ahead and do so here as soon as you can, and see all the fun stuff we've got posted up in terms of autographs and in terms of touring to get autographs. With that, let's go ahead and get on into things here with Baker's Dozen. Baker's Dozen is a summary of all kinds of news from the collectibles world, and really more than anything now, we're talking about some upcoming private signings that will be taking place along with all that. But before we get into those, I want to remind you to check out sportscollectorsdaily.com. They've been a great associate of the show here, and I write a weekly article for them. This week's one talks about all the TTM stuff that I've gotten in and covering some first overall draft picks in various sports and finding some good signers that were first overall picks in their respective drafts. So go and check that out now, sportscollectorsdaily.com. I want to remind you also, check out the TTM Cast store, ttmcast.com. It's in the top banner up there. Help support the show by picking up a t-shirt, a hoodie, a hat. We've got stickers. We got all kinds of stuff on there. I think there's like a button you can put on a bag or something like that. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. ttmcast.com. Help support us. Go pick up some TTM Cast stuff and just check out what we got there. A little news from past pros. We talk about this a little bit later on in the show, but they are going to be they said they are going to be releasing refunds on Dave Parker items. Anybody who tried mailing off to him and was not able to get him before he passed away, they are going to be giving out refunds here very soon. They'll get your items back to you as well. So yeah, hopefully anybody who mailed off to him doesn't have to wait too long to get their items back there. Well, we've got one thing coming up here later on in about a week away, I think, is when it starts up. The MLB All-Star Game Village. Now, Aaron and I went to this last year. We're not going to be there this year, unfortunately, but definitely a great event for graphers. And my friend Lee says he's going to be going out there on the first 2 days of it. So I actually just mailed some cards off to him that hopefully he'll be able to 50-50 some of those with me. But Aaron, you and I did this for the first time ever. I mean, I did one day of it back in 1997, but things have changed a little bit there in the last 30 years or so. But basically, it was like the first time for me then. It was the first time for you. What advice would you give to people who are going to this for the first time? Just, things to watch out for, things that aren't as hard as they thought they were going to be, things that were harder than you thought they were going to be, anything like that.
I mean, number one, I think that you've got to be aware of is the waiting. If you're planning on just graphing and being, and trying to be successful in that endeavor, and obviously that's what you and I go to do most of the time, is that if you're gonna be trying to wait in line, it's just a lot of waiting. It's a lot of waiting, and find yourself a nice spot to sit down in line or something, and that's basically what we did. We bounced from line to line, and sometimes you have to hang out for quite a while, and so find something to occupy your time, whether it be following us on Instagram or whatever. Yeah, so it's quite a bit of time commitment, but I think that it was absolutely worth it. For us, I think we both did very well and got most of the autographs we were looking for. And so if that's the goal, just know that it'll take you some time, but you should be pretty successful.
If you want to get in on, I definitely would recommend getting the app that they have for the event and everything. I don't think it's required necessarily, but if you can get a guaranteed ticket on any of the autograph signers for that day, grab one no matter who it is. I mean, even if it's not the big one that you want to see, if you're like us and you're trying to go through every single line that you can, you're probably going to get through most of them, but having just a little bit of a boost for even one line is definitely going to help you out. So, if you're gunning for, Lee Smith, let's say one day, and his goes quickly, but you can grab like Gerald Perry or something, grab the Gerald Perry one. It'll benefit you there just a bit. Even if it's not the guy you want, you'll at least be guaranteed to get him.
The thing about that is, too, you said it goes quickly. Yes. And I mean, like in 15 seconds, they are sold out. That was the other thing that, was shocking to me. It's like, yeah, get the app, as Drew says. And I mean, but just know that you have to have a little bit of luck because yes. I mean, the bigger ones for the day will sell out almost instantaneously.
Yeah. I think I got one every single day. And I think I got the one that I wanted precisely 0 times. So, but either way, even getting somebody at least, it helps you out. So keep that in mind. So I hopefully that helps out anybody that's going out there to Atlanta for the All-Star Game Village. And let's see here. Looking through, we've had only one release here upcoming to talk about. We're trying to limit the releases here to anything that might benefit graphers among us. Because I mean, as cool as stuff like National Treasures and all those are, I don't know of any graphers that are going to be buying a $2,500 box to mail out any of the cards from it to get signed. So skipping on a lot of that now, but we do have one that it comes down to less than $1 a card on this box. So Aaron, give us a rundown here of what we've got here from that's upcoming here.
All right, the only release is 2024-25 Topps Chrome Bundesliga. I feel like you can only say that word that way.
I mean, pretty much any German word, you pretty much have to say it like that. I mean, one of the things that one of my favorite things I ever read, it said, "Tell your friends you love them because life is short, but do it by jumping out from behind a couch and screaming at them in German because life is also confusing and terrifying." So that's what you have to say Bundesliga just like that as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. And so that release comes out on July the 10th. You will get 4 cards per pack, 10 packs per box, 1 auto, 18 other inserts or parallels per box, and the pre-sale price for that is $80.
So there you go, soccer collectors. Go and check that out and get yourself some Bundesliga cards to send out. Bundesliga cards to send out. There we go. I have to say it right, just like you said. And so there you go for all the soccer collectors out there. Upcoming signings. We've got a few here to talk about. We're going to cover anybody that's doing any mail-in signings here that started under $50 an item. Trying to keep affordable for all the fans out there, and got a lot of them actually coming up here throughout the month of August here that are ahead. But Sports Corner signings. Guy Puglia is the guy who runs that, and he has a bunch coming up, especially right on August 1st. He's got Jan Stenerud and Charlie Joyner, $15, starting at $15 each. Robert Brazil and Drew Pearson starting at $20 each. Donnie Shell, Ken Houston, Randy Gradishar all starting at $30 each. And Harold Carmichael and Mike Singletary starting at $35 each. So a whole smattering of Pro Football Hall of Famers right there. He also has coming up on August 5th from the baseball world, former Ranger and White Sox pitcher Rich Hinton. $10 an item is the starting price on those.
And Autographs Inc. is going to have several people as well. On August the 2nd, they'll have Vince Albritton for $7, $7 a card. And then on 8/17, they will have Michael Cooper for $25 a card. And then a guy that we got at the National, I think, what was that, 2018? I'm so old. 2018, the first National trip. And that is Calvin Murphy. They will have him on August the 18th, starting at $30 per item. And for more information on that, you can check out The Autographs Inc. That is INK.com.
Yeah, that Murphy was 7 years ago now that we got him. And yeah, still up and signing up a storm right now, which is always good. Bly Sports Marketing. That's Jamie Bly on sportscollectors.net. He's got a whole bunch coming up all on August the 7th. Todd Zeal and Calvin Maduro both can be $10 each on those. Whole bunch at $12 each, including Ramiro Mendoza, Chris Sabo, Mike Bordick, Howard Johnson, Greg Jeffries, and Mike Pagliarulo. A little bit higher, we've got Julio Franco, $25 an item, the starting price there, and Orlando El Duque Hernandez, $40 the starting price on those. I believe he also has some bulk discounts as well. If you need 5 or more cards signed by some of these guys, the price will start going down. So make sure you check all of those out from Bly Sports Marketing.
And also Sports Graphing will have Jeff O'Neill on August the 9th. Items start at $29 per item. And for more information on that, you can check out sportsgraphing.com.
Another one on the same day, the 9th of August, Don Buford will be $15 an item from Signatures for You. That is the number 4, the letter U. I don't have a website on them. That's the guy's name on sportscollectors.net who's running that. I think he may have a website elsewhere, but if you're on SCN, if you need Don Buford, go ahead and get in on that one.
And apparently August the 9th is the day for the signings because the Wilder Side of Sports on that day is going to have former Texas Longhorn Ricky Williams signing for $30 an item. Terry Pendleton signing for $15 an item. You'll have Vince Papel, Bill Madlock, Billy Sims, and Rudy Rudiger for $10 an item. And then also, but this one is not on the 9th, on August the 30th, he will have Buster Douglas for $40 per item. For more information about that, you can check out wildersideofsports.com.
Santiago de Leon has a bunch down in, I believe, either the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico that he's going to be seeing on August the 15th. If you want to follow him on Instagram, it's SDL_sports memorabilia, but he's going to have Argenis Angel Salazar, $14 an item. Also, it's Enrique Romo, $14 an item as well. Former infielder Max Leon for $13 each, and couple pitchers here in El Pulido and Jose Cesena, as well as Oscar Villarreal, $12 each item on those. I know for certain that he has discounts for, I think, 3 or more or 5 or more or something like that. So if you need multiples on those guys, if you need for sets, go and check him out. That's Santiago de Leon, SDL_sports memorabilia on Instagram.
And locally here, we have Daryl Hawk, who is going to have currently injured, I believe, Rangers pitcher John Gray on August the 29th for $25 per item.
And lastly, if you're up... Oh, yes.
Sorry. And for more information, you can check out hawkmansports.com. See, I should finish the read. I'm sorry.
Probably a good call. Usually goes best when you do there. Yeah. Lastly, we've got Carl's Cards. I believe it's in the Philadelphia area, if I remember right. But on the 23rd of August, they will have Greg Luzinski coming in and signing $20 an item there. I think it's an in-person signing at their store, but also they are taking mail-ins as well. So go ahead and check them out. I believe it's Carl's Cards, I think is what the name was on sportscollectors.net. I believe they may have a website of their own as well. Just Google Carl's Cards, Greg Luzinski, and I'm sure you can find info that way. There's a lot of signings upcoming for Cooperstown Induction Weekend and for the National. That, of course, is all coming up here in July, which we covered last month. But if you're still needing some guys at the last minute, go and check out any signings with those guys. Sportscollectors.net has an excellent list on all of those. Right now, let's go ahead and take a look at Hobby Happenings. Hobby Happenings is a chance for us to look at what shows are coming up all across the country. We're covering July 7th through August 3rd on these shows, starting with one up in Northern Kentucky / Southern Ohio. It's the Cincinnati Summer Show, Summer 2025 show. Takes place on July 11th through the 13th. That's the Northern Kentucky Convention Center, Covington, Kentucky. So technically, it's the that's where Cincinnati's airport is. So it's like, all right, I'll allow that then. So Covington, Kentucky, $10 an item or $10 per person admission. We have at least 10 signers at the show. Ellie De La Cruz and Barry Larkin both among those. So some big name shortstops from the Cincinnati Reds. If you want more info about that, go to DallasCardShow.com/Cincinnati.
That is some legit representation at Cincinnati shortstops right there.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we also have the Greenville show that's taking place on July the 12th at Haywood Mall in Greenville, South Carolina. Just a note about Greenville, I will be there here in about, 3 weeks or so. Greenville, South Carolina, admission is free. You can't beat free. They will have a couple of former Mets. They'll have Doc Gooden and Howard Johnson signing there for $29 each. So pretty good deal there. And for more information about that, you can check out wildersideofsports.com.
If you're a little bit further north, the Philly Show Summer Sizzle is taking place on July 19th. Not sure what makes it the Summer Sizzle show as opposed to just a Philly show, but hey, it works out. That'll be at Xfinity Live in Philadelphia, $5 admission fee on that one. We have 7 signers from the current Philadelphia Phillies, including Mick Abel, Aaron Nola, and Alec Baum, all signing there. If you want more info, go to phillyshow.com.
And we have the Dedham show that will be going on July the 20th at the Holiday Inn in Dedham, Massachusetts. Admission there is $3 per person. They will have 4 signers, including Boxing Hall of Famer Vinny Paz. For more information about that, you can check out cardboardpromotions.com.
If you're one of our Midwest listeners, the Orlando Gardens show, yet again, they seem to do those once every couple months or so, but Orlando Gardens show will be July 20th at the Orlando Gardens Mall in St. Louis, Missouri. No info on admission costs there, but 2 very affordable signers there. They're going to have Gary Bennett, former catcher for a few teams. He's out there at starting at $9 an item. And Turk Wendell, the former pitcher for the Cubs, the Mets, a couple other teams in there, starting at $8 an item for him. If you want more information on that, go and check out stlsportscollectors.com.
And we also have the Midwest Collectors Fest 5 that'll be going on on July the 27th at Countryside Banquets in Countryside, Illinois. Admission there is $2 per person. Mark Bortz and Dennis Hobson will be signing there. And for more information about that, you can check out Midwest Sports Buffet LLC on Facebook.
Going back up toward New England again for a couple more shows, we have the Solomon Pond Mall having the Marlboro show on August 2nd. Marlboro, Massachusetts, free admission on that one. You're going to have 4 signers, including, I believe, 2 players are signing free with admission. Dana Barros is one of them. They also have Tony Armos will be signing there, starting at $15 per item. You can check out more info there at cardboardpromotions.com.
Did you just say that they were signing free with admission and admission is free?
Yes, so there's a couple of guys there that you can get completely free. You don't have to pay to get in the door. You don't have to pay to get them. Comes free with admission. Dana Barros being one of them. So, yeah. You really can't beat that one in that case.
Sorry, I thought I was having a fever dream there for a second. I just wanted to make sure that I was right about that. So we also have the Methuen show that's going on August the 3rd at VFW Hall, number 8349 in Methuen, Massachusetts. Admission there is $2, and Terry O'Reilly will be signing there for $20 per item. And for more information about that, you can check out cardshows.net.
Lastly, the big one, we're going to have a lot more about this with Les Wolff here in just a matter of minutes. The National takes place at the end of this month. July 30th is when it starts up, runs all the way through August the 3rd. This year's one is at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont, Illinois. Tons of signers. I can do that a little bit with Les in there. Tons of tables and booths and all that. The all-access VIP passes are already sold out for the show. If you want to get in just a single day, it's $25 a day. You can get a 5-day early entry pass for $150. Or if you want the regular VIP pass, that is $199. For more information about the National, go and check out nsccshow.com. Don't forget, a lot of these shows offer mail-ins for their signings, so visit cravetheauto.com for more upcoming shows and signings all over the country and any info about these mail-ins that might be taking place. Right now, let's move on into more from Les. As I said, Les Wolff joining us here talking about the National, all things that are coming up with that. He's a mainstay at the National every single year, and he's got a nice place in his booth, which we will talk to him about right now. Well, big thanks once again to Les Wolff for joining us here. And as I think we said at the end there, we're going to be doing some appraisals with Les coming up in October. So mark that down on your calendars. We'll remind you in the next couple of shows there to get any items sent in that you want Les to take a look at and give his opinions on their value and anything like that. Value, authenticity, anything like that. I know I've got a couple of hockey sticks I'm going to have him take a look at here upcoming. Once again, that'll be for our October show. So keep that in mind through September to send those on into us, and we'll get those up on the air and talk about with Les and get his thoughts on them. Right now, let's move on into Making the Grade. Making the Grade is a brief summary of how things are looking in the grading world, taking a look at the monthly numbers from the big 4 grading companies. Aaron, what do we got from them?
So we got some numbers for the month of June. PSA graded 1.43 million cards, which is down 13%. CGC graded 428,000 cards, which is down 25%. SGC graded 158,000 cards, which is up 9%. And Beckett graded 63,000 cards, which is good for 7% uptick on that one. And the total for the month of June was 2.08 million cards graded.
I always like seeing that 2 million number on there, and it seems that's kind of been the average here the last few months there. So kind of cool to see that. Take a look now at this month's Big 3. The Big 3 comes exclusively to TTM Cast, courtesy of gemrate.com. You will not find these numbers anywhere else. Those first numbers there where it goes to, each month's things there, you can find those on their social media there. You can follow them on Twitter and on Instagram at gemrate. But the Big 3, you will only find right here at TTM Cast. Taking a look at some individual players and who's moving up and who's moving down. The big winner for this month, Paige Beckers of the Dallas Wings, up 139% on her grading numbers. WWE's John Cena comes in second place, 107% increase on his grading numbers. I don't know how they do that when you can't see him. And a 75% increase for Jared McCain, who comes in third place. Over 800 copies of Paige Beckers' 2025 Panini Instant WNBA Draft Night card number DN1 were graded in the month of June. Over 800 copies. Just think of that. I mean, one of those small long boxes. If every single one of those had her card in it, that would be how many got graded just in the past month alone. Make it one of the most graded cards of the month across all of the big four grading companies. Meanwhile, looking on down on who's trending downward, Aaron, who do we have that's kind of falling down the charts right now?
Man, you beat me to the John Cena joke. I was gonna make it, and then you ended up making it. Okay, so yeah, it's amazing what a heel turn can do for your career. You know, right. You may not know a lot about wrestling, but I grew up, and so watching it. So yeah, interesting to see what's happening with John Cena right now. But yeah, so falling, we have Anthony Richardson, who is down 29%. We have hobby darling Paul Skeens, who is down 31%. And then we have a Dodgers rookie phenom, Roki Sasaki, who is down 34% to round out our falling list this month.
Didn't Hulk Hogan do a kind of a heel turn at one point too? So a little proof there that, yeah, that kind of seems to work out sometimes for people. So there you go.
Yeah, he joined the NWO, and it was like one of the craziest things that had ever happened. And so, yeah, John Cena right now, you know, is kind of on fire. So good for him.
Well, there you go. So once again, Gem Rate provided all those to us. You can see their daily, weekly, and monthly numbers at Gem Rate on Instagram and on Twitter. You can dig even deeper into some of their numbers at gemrate.com. But the big three is found only here at TTM Cast. Let's move on now. We've got the TTM Cast stamp of approval. Well, stamp of approval is just a chance for us to show that we're not just a bunch of sports and collectibles geeks, even though, let's be honest, we typically are when it comes to anything on here. And quite often, stamp of approval ends up that way, but not always. This is a chance to say, hey, we have other stuff going on in our lives to give a thumbs up to. And I will lead it off this week. I may have mentioned this guy before in a past episode, but it's worth mentioning again, and that is Shahzad Khan, who runs Crescent Motorsports here in Arlington. And anytime my wife and I have had anything ever go wrong with one of our cars, we take it to him, and not only does it get fixed, he doesn't treat you like you're stupid, which a lot of garages love doing that to everybody, especially to female customers. And my wife has said, look, I go in there and he explains everything to me. He doesn't try to take advantage of us, anything like that. He's always been great to go to. He'll sit there and he'll explain, okay, yeah, I fixed this. This part does this to whatever, you know, and tells what he did, what that part does, all that kind of stuff. And, I mean, every time that we've had to go to him, his estimates or his cost comes in underneath, significantly under Repair Pal estimates. And, I mean, anytime we have to take it to him, we don't have to take it back to him for the same thing again afterward either, which has been great. So, if you're in North Texas and you need your car looked at, especially if you're in Arlington, go and check out Crescent Motorsports, located just off Cooper in kind of the South Arlington area there. They come highly recommended. And this month, they get the TTM Cast stamp of approval. Aaron Littleton, what do you got on your side?
All right. So, you know, as most people know, yesterday was the 4th of July, which is a holiday in America. for 4th of July, or as they call it in England, Treason Day. But the thing about that is it's only treason if you lose. And 249 years ago, the greatest nation to ever exist was born. And so, yeah, it's good to sit back and not have to go to work. And I work most days, but I do not work the 4th of July. So good to sit back, have a burger, watch the Rangers not be able to score a run for 10 continuous innings, which is what's happened for most of the last week, unfortunately. But even still, there's just something uniquely American about it. And God bless the USA. So there you go. Happy 4th of July.
England is responsible for a lot of countries' Independence Days. You ever notice that?
they had a lot of countries back in the day. They were like belt collectors of.
Yeah. So there you go. That is this month's TTM cast stamp approval. Let's go ahead and move on back into the collectibles here with the Vern Rapp Minute. The Vern Rapp Minute is dedicated to the memory of Mr. Vern Rapp, former Major League Baseball player, minor league baseball player, Major League manager. Our show's founder, Jeff Baker, tried mailing off to Vern Rapp for an autograph and did not know that he had already passed away. And so we provide this as a service to the collectors out there, to all the TTMers out there, to let you know when somebody has passed away. Typically in sports, any good TTMers, but occasionally do cover those in other areas, such as, movies, music, anything like that. Any kind of big names, of course, in sports that have died. We'll try to keep you on top of all of that news. Well, we're going to start football here this month, as we lost Jim Marshall earlier in the month of June. He was a defensive end from 1960 to 1979, played for the Cleveland Browns and mostly the Minnesota Vikings. He was a two-time Pro Bowler and never missed a game in a Vikings uniform from 1961 to 1979. Did not miss a single game with them. Jim was an excellent TTMer through about 2024. He was 87 years old.
And we also lost Tom Rafferty at the age of 70. He was an offensive lineman from 1976 to 1989 with the Dallas Cowboys. He won the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 12 with the Cowboys, and he was a good TTMer through this year.
We also lost Doug Eggers this past month. Doug was a linebacker for a few seasons in the NFL, 1954 to 1958. Played for the Baltimore Colts and the Chicago Cardinals. That's going back a ways right there, because they haven't been in Chicago since maybe 1960 or thereabouts. In his career, like I said, only played about 4 or 5 seasons, but had 4 interceptions and 8 fumble recoveries in that time. Doug was a good TTMer through 2024. He was 94 years old.
We also lost Stu Barber at the age of 86. He was an offensive lineman and a linebacker from 1961 to 1969 with the Buffalo Bills. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler as a left tackle, and he was a good TTMer through this year.
We also lost Roger Scholes this past month, offensive lineman from 1963 to 71, played for the Browns, the Lions, and the Denver Broncos. He was an NFL champion in 1964 with the Cleveland Browns, the last time they won it all in the NFL. He was a good TTMer through 2023. Roger Scholes was 86 years old.
And we also have Charlie Mitchell, who passed away at the age of 85. He was a running back and a defensive back from 1963 to 1968 with the Denver Broncos. 6 of his 8 career touchdowns came in 1964, and he was a good TTMer through 2022.
Moving into the soccer world, we lost Diego Jota this week. It was this past week, at the age of 28 only. Died in a car accident. He was a forward from 2016 to 2025, played for FC Porto, Wolverhampton, and Liverpool, as well as playing for his home country of Portugal in international play. Across 381 games of senior and international play, he had 130 goals, was kind of an up-and-coming player, and I guess maybe more of an established player at this point now with Portugal and Liverpool, but not known if he was a TTMer at all. I haven't done a whole lot of European soccer mailing, and info about there is kind of few and far between. But Diego Jota was 28 years old.
And then I think most people have seen this one. At least I saw it on social media and all the tributes happening. But we lost Dave Parker at the age of 74. He was an outfielder from 1973 to 1991 with 6 teams, mostly the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was the 1978 NL MVP. He won the World Series in 1979 and 1989 as well. He had 3 Gold Gloves, 2 batting titles, and 7 All-Star Game selections, and he was a good TTMer through this year.
And as we mentioned earlier on, if you had a mailing out to him through Past Pros recently, they will be sending out refunds here very soon. We also lost Diego Siggy. Don't want to jump the gun on David there, but Diego Siggy this past month. Diego was a pitcher from 1962 to 1977 with 6 teams in his career, mostly the Kansas City A's. He led the American League in ERA in 1970 at 2.56 and is the father of David Siggy, whom I just mentioned, former Orioles, Mets, and Expos first baseman. Played with the Indians for a bit, maybe a couple other teams in there. Diego was an excellent TTMer all the way through this year. He was 87 years old.
And we also lost Billy Hunter at the age of 97. He was a shortstop from 1952 to 1958 with 4 teams. And he was also the manager of my Texas Rangers from 1977 to 1978. He was the last living St. Louis Brown, and he was a good TTMer through 2024.
And speaking of St. Louis Browns, we also lost Ed Mickelson this past month. First baseman, played from 1950 to 1957. On and off for the Cardinals, the St. Louis Browns, and the Chicago Cubs. Couldn't quite get the numbers together in the major leagues, but in the minors, he was a career .316 hitter with 108 home runs. Great TTMer through 2022. Ed Mickelson was 98 years old.
And we also lost Bob Hefner this month. He was a pitcher from 1963 to 1968 with the Boston Red Sox, the Cleveland Indians, and the California Angels. His record was 11-21 with 5 saves and a .451 ERA, and he was a good TTMer through this year, and he was 86 years old.
We also lost Dr. Ron Taylor earlier this month. Dr. Taylor is a pitcher from 1962 to 72, played for 5 teams, mostly best known with the New York Mets. Won the World Series in 1964 as a Cardinal and 1969 with the Mets. After he finished his career as a baseball player, he went back to his home country of Canada, went to medical school, and became the Toronto Blue Jays team physician, a position that he held from 1979 through 2014. Taylor was an excellent TTMer through 2022. He was 87 years old.
And we also lost Vic Harris at the age of 75 this month. He was a utility player from 1972 to 1980 with the Texas Rangers, the Chicago Cubs, the St. Louis Cardinals, the San Francisco Giants, and the Milwaukee Brewers. He played everywhere but catcher and pitcher in his career, so definitely very versatile there, and he was a good TTMer through this year.
Speaking of versatility, we lost Johnny O'Brien this past month. Johnny primarily played second base, but also pitched a bit for the Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Milwaukee Braves from 1953 to 59. Mostly second baseman, but I think if I remember right, he got in like 25 games as a pitcher as well. So interesting two-way play there out of him. His grandson, Riley O'Brien, is a current pitcher for the Cardinals. Johnny was a great TTMer all the way through this year. He was 94 years old.
And we also lost John Shulock at the age of 76. He was an umpire from 1979 to 2002. He was officiating. He officiated the 1985 and 1992 World Series, as well as the 1983 and 1994 All-Star Game. He was a good TTMer through this year.
Moving into the hockey world, we lost Alex Delvecchio just a couple days ago. He was played center and left wing from 1950 to 1974 for the Detroit Red Wings. Very long career right there. 456 career goals. And when he retired, he was second all-time in assists at 825 and second in points at 1,281, trailing teammate Gordie Howe in both of those categories. He was a 3-time winner of the Lady Byng Trophy, a 3-time Stanley Cup winner, and a 13-time All-Star during his career. Alex was a great TTMer all the way through this year. He was 93 years old.
And then we have Fred Hukel, who passed away at the age of 93. He was a defenseman from 1950 to 1954 with the Chicago Blackhawks, and also from 1967 to 1968 with the St. Louis Blues. He had a long career in the Western League in between those two stints in the NHL, and he was a good TTMer through 2024.
One that just got announced about an hour ago. We lost Lyndon Byers just today. He was a right winger for the Boston Bruins and briefly with the San Jose Sharks at the end of his career. Played from 1983 to 1993 with those teams. 71 career points, 1,081 career penalty minutes across 279 games. And he was involved, one of the combatants in the first hockey fight that I ever saw live at a game that I was at. Went to a game between the San Diego Gulls and the Cleveland Lumberjacks. And Byers was playing for San Diego at that point, and in the final minutes of the game, threw down with Paul Laws, future enforcer, defenseman / left wing for the Florida Panthers for a number of years. Linden went on to become a radio host. He was had a sports show in the Boston area. He was a great TTMer all the way through this year. He was 61 years old.
And moving to the world of basketball, we lost David Greenwood at the age of 68. He was a power forward from 1978 to 1991 with the Chicago Bulls, the San Antonio Spurs, the Denver Nuggets, and the Detroit Pistons. And he was a 1990 NBA champ with Detroit, and he was a good TTMer through this year.
Moving into the world of entertainment here briefly, we lost Sly Stone earlier this month. Sly, of course, was a multi-instrumentalist in the band Sly and the Family Stone, main songwriter, main singer, played a little bit of everything. I mean, you could find him on keyboards, you might find him on guitar, you might find him on any of the wind instruments there, the reeds or whatever. I mean, anything. He was just playing pretty much all of it at times. Best known songs, Everyday People, Hot Fun in the Summertime, Dance to Music, Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again, If You Want Me to Stay, which has one of my favorite bass lines to play. Sly was not known to be a TTMer. He actually had become kind of a recluse from the 80s into the 90s, all the way into the kind of mid-2000s or so when he had a brief resurgence there. He was 82 years old.
And lastly, we have Michael Madsen, who passed away at the age of 67. He was an actor. He was best known for Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill Volume 2, The Natural, Donnie Brasco, and more. And he was a good TTMer through 2020.
Well, there you go. So that is this week's Vern Rapp Minute. If you've lost anyone this week, this month, our thoughts are certainly with you. As now, let's move on in to our TTM returns. This is the main reason why the show exists. It is our TTM returns on, what we got in our mailbox here over this past month. And I mentioned last month that I had sent out a few that were some paid ones. They have started to come back in. Most of them actually have come back. I think I'm only got maybe 3 plus a couple of private signings I sent off to that I'm still waiting on. But just rolling through these very quickly. Tim McIntosh got him back on several cards after a 6-week wait. Mailed to his home, I believe, in Minnesota for that. He was one of the free signers here from this month. Also, David Lowe, former outfielder for the Royals, the Orioles as well, spent some time in the Cleveland organization as well. Currently lives in the Akron, Ohio area, signed 3 cards for me in 7 weeks. Moving into ones that I've paid for, I got Dennis Martinez back, a $10 fee on him. Took only a week turnaround on that. Got that one for one of the sets that I'm working on, the Topps all-time fan favorites ones. Got Mickey Lolich back in 2 weeks, $20 fee on each of those. Mailed to his home in Michigan. Got a couple of 1972 Topps set hits there from him. Jim Rice sent to his home up in Massachusetts, $20 fee per item on those as well. Signed 3 cards for me for the all-time fan favorite sets and the 2013 Topps Mini 72 inserts. Got Lou Whitaker back also in 3 weeks to his home in the Carolinas, $25 each, the fee on those. He also sent back a small card signed, so got a 4th autograph in there totally free. Has a QR card to the Jehovah's Witnesses website. He's always been one to send out stuff from the Watchtower Society whenever he signs, and finally decided, okay, hey, let's just send out this little card that has an autograph and a QR code on it, so kind of a cool little item right there. I could make a cut sig with that or something if I want to at some point. Paul Molitor came back on a card in 3 weeks, $20 fee, I believe it was on him as well. Another all-time fan favorite set hit right there. And the big one that just came in the other day was Carlton Fisk on 4 cards. I needed him on, he was 2 for the all-time fan favorite sets and 2 for the Diamond King sets. He has a $50 fee benefiting a cancer charity there. So sent those off, got them back about 3 weeks or so. And that's it for the paid ones. Last one just came in today was from Mark Stewart. Plays, I believe he's working with the Edmonton Oilers. I don't think he's playing for them at this point, but sent to him up in Canada. Took about 2 months to get those back to me, so very happy to add those in. And also, almost forgot, I got my Wanna Shuffle in for this month. We had Belinda on the show several months ago talking about Wanna Shuffle, and so I got back in on that and netted myself a 1989 Topps Rich Yet signed card right there. So one to go in there for the Indians. I don't remember. I think I sent off one of the it was one of Tim McIntosh cards, actually, was what I mailed off in that one. So there you go. A guy that I had a bunch on there. I might as well go ahead and send out and see what I get. And got back a Rich Yet, which I have actually not TTM'd him at any point. So got him in to add in. That's what I've got for the month. Aaron, what do you got for yours?
All right, so I actually had some stuff, and apparently, my mail comes pretty late in the day, and so allegedly I've got 2 more successes coming today, but they probably won't be here until after we wrap the show, so I'll have to mention those later. But the 2 that I do know about is so I did some football. Former Minnesota Vikings Stu Voigt signed 3 of 3 cards for me, and also former Denver Bronco Dan Williams signed 4 of 4 as well. So getting some football in. It's always nice to get some autographs, and yeah, good. Here's to a good July.
When I saw Dan Williams on the list, I'm like, okay, is this going to be the former Bronco, or is it going to be the former Cleveland Indians bullpen catcher? Because he has cards out there too. So he actually had, I think, some minor league stuff from like Star in like the late '80s, early '90s or so. It was one of those Star or CMC or something like that. So
nice. Yeah, I haven't made it that far yet.
Yeah. It's probably best to try to avoid those until you get really, really desperate. Because once you go down that rabbit hole, there's no coming back from it. So
yeah, for sure.
Well, there you go. That is what we've got for this month, and that is all for the show for this month. Big thanks once again to Les Wolff for joining us there in More from Let's Go, and check him out at booth number 1000 at the National. Almost right when you go inside there, you're going to see him almost straight across from where you're coming in at. So go check his stuff out, say hi, all that fun stuff. Big thanks to Aaron sitting here in the co-host seat, and for Ruthie doing all the production work on this to send this from our mouths out to your ears. Next month's show will be on Saturday, August 2nd. Aaron's going to be our guest. We're actually going to have Troy Runner sitting in on the co-host seat for that one. We'll be hearing from Aaron from somewhere out on the road during the week before that point there. We'll get an update as to how the trip has gone and how the graphing is looking out there in the southeastern United States. Aaron, any other thoughts before we go ahead and wrap this one on up?
No, it's great. It's always good to do the show. It feels a little bit weird now moving to the monthly format from the weekly one. But yeah, it's always good to talk about autographs and get some autographs. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being a guest on the show once again next month. So that'll be good. I'm sure Troy will do great, and I appreciate him sitting in for me so I can hopefully go get some Carolina ink.
Absolutely, and yeah, I'm feeling that on the month right now too. I'm like, okay, maybe next year we'll do it to every 2 weeks instead of kind of in between there. So it's not the once a month, but also not the stress of every single week. So yeah, we'll consider that one there. So listeners, be forewarned. 2026, maybe we'll go back to that. We'll see how it goes though. With that, that's it for this month. Wishing you many happy returns. We will see you next month here on. Oh, seriously, we'll see you next month here on TTM Cast. Oof.